Do you love sourdough bread, but you're not sure if you'll ever be able to make it because you don't know if you're up for maintaining a starter? Well, this video is for you because I'm gonna lay it all out on the line. So, sourdough starter, are you up for it or not? Let's go over it. I'm gonna give you 5 questions to ask yourself so you can decide yourself if you wanna do it. But before I tell you those questions, I just wanna ask you guys, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. And when you do, I'm going to share with you my 1,000 subscriber special video of my step-by-step recipe making sourdough bread. Okay, are you ready? Question number 1. How much do you love sourdough bread? If you answer, I love it a lot, then yes, you need to make a sourdough starter and maintain it. Because once you learn how to make bread like this, you will never want to go back to buying bread at any bakery. I promise you, you can make it better yourself. So if you love sourdough bread, man, you got to try it. Question number 2, how often do you want to bake bread? If you tell me you want to bake it once a week, then I say yes. If you're talking about once a month, then you really have to consider it because it's a lot of work to maintain a starter if you're never going to use it. But once a week, it's definitely worth it. Okay, question number 3 to ask yourself, are you the creative type? Because if you said yes to this one, then you have to do it. Because the art of bread baking, but let me just refine that and say sourdough bread baking is the most amazing art of anything I've done in cooking. It's so fantastic, it's so creative, it's so frustrating at times, but the reward is so great. And when you get it, and you will get it, because I'm gonna teach you how to do it in the video that I'm gonna make for you guys, but you will get it. It takes a little bit of patience and time and practice, but it's so much done by the feel. You have to really learn. It's not just following a recipe, I promise, but when you get it, oh, the rewards are so incredible. And every time you make bread, it's slightly different. That's why you have to really go by the feel. So if you love some creative process, then you have to learn to make sourdough bread. Question number 4, do you feel guilty eating bread? Well, if you do, then you need to make sourdough bread and maintain a starter because this kind of bread is the healthiest kind of bread you can eat. Watch my video on the benefits of sourdough, but there's no healthier bread other than whole grain sourdough bread. This is the bread that I make here, and look how beautiful the crumb is. That's called the crumb. You see the nice big open airy holes, and this bread has been fermented for 17 to 20 hours in the fridge. You can smell the sourdough flavor, and oh my God, it's so delicious. The crumb is so moist. It's a high hydration dough, which is hard to work with, but I can teach you how to do it, I promise. Okay, are you ready for the last question? Are you an impatient person or a person with no time on their hands? If you said yes to that question, then maybe you have to think twice because it might not be the right time in your life because maintaining a sourdough starter takes some time, but it's not very much time. But if you're really impatient, then the art of bread baking may frustrate you. And if you're really having no time on your hands, then maybe feeding your starter feels like too much work, but it's not that difficult. I feed my starter daily. Many people don't do that. They just put it in their fridge and they feed it once a week. It depends how often you bake. You need to take your starter out a few days before you bake. I would say at least a couple days and feed it a few times before you're ready to bake. This is my starter. It's almost, you can see, it's more than doubled its size. This is where it started, so it's just about ready to use, but I already baked my breads, so this is just me feeding my starter, and then you have to throw this out when you feed it again, or you use this throw out part of the starter for some other recipe like pancakes or pizza or muffins, or there's so many people that have created recipes with sourdough. I don't, the waste of it, it feels like a waste, but believe me, it's worth it when you taste this bread. I love sourdough bread, and I finally got it, you guys, and I want to teach you how to do this. So if you're creative, if you love bread, if you're guilty of eating regular bread, because this is the healthy bread, it's all been pre-digested for you and fermented for 17 to 20 hours, so you won't have guilt eating this bread, I promise. All right, you guys, if you like this video, please be sure to check out my others, and I really appreciate if you subscribe, because then I'm going to give you the recipe when I get 1,000 subscribers for this bread. Thanks.